You could say that I'm a little opinionated when it comes to the answer to this question. Which real estate strategy is best? Well, today we're going to talk about every type of real estate investment. I'm going to explain all of them in this short video. It's going to come hard, it's going to come quick, it's going to come fast, and at the end, I'm going to reveal how the benefits of all top 5 major real estate strategies can be condensed into one super strategy.
One shot, now the future is yours. Go!
What are the 5 main forms of real estate that you could invest in? Well, here they are. We're going to talk commercial properties, land deals, group investments, multifamily properties, and residential real estate. We're going to look at all 5 of these. We're going to look at the pros. We're going to look at the cons. Let's go. This is an event center that I own, and what we do is we basically rent out for my events, but a whole bunch of other type of events. In the game of commercial real estate, it's about a building that is supporting a business. In this case, it's an event center. So commercial properties are either used for office buildings, retail space, industrial space, medical facilities, hotels, really a variety of different things. And what they all share in common, they're all businesses. Now, there are some pros. There's high income per square foot. Like compared to like renting a house, you can charge a lot more per square foot when it's commercial. You also have long-term leases, like a 5-year lease or a 10-year lease. It's like, man, if I find that client, I don't have to worry about this for a year and the rents adjust year over year over year. Then you also have professional tenant relationships. Like these people want their place to look nice, so they're investing in it. They're doing tenant improvements. And then finally, there's a lot of creative financing options out there. Like there's this great ability for you to get into that space. Creativity is abundant, but there are some disadvantages. For example, there's a shifting demand in the commercial market right now. Like a few years ago, we had this pandemic, and now people are like, I don't know if I want to work in an office anymore. And there's a lot of commercial buildings that have been vacated. You also have the complexity in contracts. You can mess that one up. You have the potential for extended vacancies, like, wow, when I rented out my house, it took me a month and I found a new tenant. When I rented out my commercial building, it took me 3 years to find a new tenant. And then you also have high upfront costs. So you look at all that and it's like, wow, there's so many positive things about commercial, but there's also some negative things. Number 2 on our list, we've got land. Listen, land can be used for land development. Like I want to drop in a community of homes, agricultural land, recreational land. There's land speculation. There's land that you want to put commercial things on. And check it out, there are definitely some pros. You have relatively low upfront costs because undeveloped land, it's cheap. Right? You can get a lot of it for a very small price because someone hasn't put in roads and utilities and gone to the city and like figured out the permitting and all of those politics, right? You also have flexibility and versatility on what you can do with it. And you also have the potential for massive value appreciation. Land certainly comes with some disadvantages. For example, you're dealing with permitting and county regulations. You've got limited financing options because there's a lot of banks that are like, this land doesn't make money. Why would I lend you on it? Like I understand it has some intrinsic value, but it doesn't house a house that has value that you can rent and it uses collateral. It doesn't have a commercial building on it, a business that is being used to make money. It's just land, right? Then you also have extensive due diligence process. There's longer investment periods before there's a profit. And at the end of the day, land is just kind of speculative. It's like you might land it really big and make crazy amounts of money, or maybe you do it wrong and no one wants what you're developing. Next, we've got group investments. You might be thinking, Kris, what is a group investment? Let me show you. It's where you have a bunch of investors come together to try to take down usually a much bigger project. So a REIT, a real estate investment trust, is where there's a whole bunch of investors that go in on a syndicated project together. You also have real estate syndications. This would be someone like me that finds a package, a bunch of really good deals and says, hey, everyone throw in some money together and let's do this deal together and share in the winnings. You also have crowdfunding. Technically, they're itemized as 3 different types of strategies, but actually, they're all the exact same thing, just slightly different legal definitions and marketing approaches. Definitely some advantages here because you've got flexible upfront investment. Like this might be the smallest amount of money that you get to put in to participate in a bigger deal. You have limited liability and time investment, which means, man, I don't have a lot of exposure personally. No one's going to sue me on this. I'm part of a bigger thing, and I'm not certainly putting time in. I put my money in. It's very passive. It's comparatively higher liquidity, which means when a lot of people pull their money together and go in on something, they're usually not having a lot of leverage on the property, which means a lot of it is paid off. That can produce a safer position. And then you also have it professionally managed. Like anyone that's putting one of these things together, they're experts. They've done this a lot. And as a result, you get to benefit from all of that expertise. But no world is perfect. There are some disadvantages. For example, there's little to no control over your investment. You're part of a big group. It's not like you get to call them up one day and say, something bad happened in my life, I need my money back. They might say, you bought into something where we have to wait 5 years until we sell something or whatever the deal is, right? There's definitely gonna be some fees and some expenses. There's low potential for outsized gains, which means whatever's been predicted is kind of whatever it's gonna be. And then you also have the eventual dilution of ownership, which just basically means some people are gonna stay in, some people are gonna get out. You do have some options, but that dilution means that if they need more money to come in, your ownership might shrink down. Hopefully they buy more stuff so it works itself out, but it doesn't always work out in your favor. And then we have, of course, multifamily. And you know, this is such a big deal for a lot of people because they're like, man, there's no scalability to single family homes. Aren't you supposed to graduate and do something kind of bigger? And hence multifamily, which can consist of duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes, apartment complexes, senior housing, student housing, and there's definitely some advantages. Check out some of the pros. You consistently have high demand. You have stable long-term value. Efficiency is there because of scale, right? And then you also have the potential ability to house hack. I can 1031 exchange this whole building into a better one. But there's definitely some disadvantages that you need to be aware of. For example, to buy this complex, that's not like a couple of pennies. That's a large investment that's gonna be up front. There's also high demands for property management. So what are they gonna charge you on this? What is that gonna cost? You have limited exit options when you actually go to sell this because it's not like every buyer wants a really big apartment building complex. And you also have market cycle sensitivity. Bottom line is, if it's the wrong timing in the market, you might have to wait 3 or 5 or 7 or 10 years before it's a good idea to make a move on this property. And that might mean that if it's not going well, you're gonna be stuck with it for a really long time. And finally, the fifth form of real estate is residential real estate. This is something that someone can individually own. So it might be a single family home like you see here. It could be a townhome. It could be a condominium. There's definitely some advantages of owning single family homes. Number one, it's a relatively low cost entry point. There's not many forms of real estate that are cheaper than this. You also have plentiful financing options. Like banks are built on the notion of lending on entry level homes that people want to buy. They find that it's really good collateral. It's also highly market diverse. You have tenant stability, and then you also have flexible exit strategies. Like, I don't want to live here anymore, so I'm just gonna sell my house, and then you can do that. There are, however, some cons that you want to be aware of. It's more difficult to scale. It's also highly dependent on local market conditions, and there's lower tax benefits compared to commercial. Like if I buy that commercial building over there, I can literally write off a whole bunch more of it because it's a larger purchase than I can a really small home because I bought something, for a lot less money. What should a beginner start with? What should a more affluent person do? What should a financially successful person do? Well, let's take a moment and evaluate the golden opportunity. Is there such thing as an investment that combines the hands-off nature of a group investment, the high cash flow of commercial, the low vacancy of multifamily, and the flexibility and control of single-family residential properties? And here's the answer, 100% yes, there is. In fact, in the very beginning of my investment career, 20 years ago, I evaluated all the different strategies that were out there and said there's gotta be one that literally has the least risk, takes the least effort, but also makes the most money. And I got news for you. That does exist, and I'm gonna show you right now. Check out this formula. If you focus on single family real estate in the top 5 out of 324 markets, and you buy in those markets below the median, which in most cases is under $300,000, but ensure that the house is as new as possible and no less than a 3-bedroom, 2-bath on up, guess what? That's where you actually hit the sweet spot on long-term rentals for making the most money. In fact, $50,000 sitting in a 401k or IRA, that is growing at 25% year over year, over 20 years turns into $4.3 million. If we target more of what I like to, 34% annual ROI, that number turns into $17 million. It's passive. You don't have to drive to Home Depot, you don't have to get on an airplane, and you don't have to talk to tenants, and yet the deal works. And there's other really good news. Check it out. I partner with people all over the world that say, Kris, I've got a little bit of cash sitting in a 401k or maybe savings or an IRA or some other retirement account or equity in a home. Are you telling me I could partner with you, put up the money, and your team of 200 experts will do all of the work, and then we split the profits equally? That's exactly what I do for people. If you click the link below, you're gonna learn all about it. There is a best approach to real estate. Everyone should own real estate. I believe that you should own real estate, but you should own the real estate that makes the most sense, requires your least time, your least effort, your least risk, but makes you the most money. And in the link below, you're gonna learn exactly how to do that hands-free. Now that's a cool magic trick. But Kris, I don't got no money. I don't got a 401k, I don't got an IRA, I don't have a home, I don't have equity in a home. Can I still invest in real estate the way you're talking about? And the answer is yes. There's ways of buying real estate with no money whatsoever. If you want to know how I did that, you're definitely going to want to click here and watch this video.